and welcome to Barre. This is a mixture of ballet, Pilates and other fitness elements, and it's going to work best today if you're in socks or in bare feet, so you can feel the floor through the feet. You're also going to need whatever you're using for a bar, so the back of a chair, edge of a table, or perhaps even a wall will work. As well, you're going to be needing whatever you're using as a small hand weight, so it doesn't have to be an official hand weight, it's only one of them, so just an object that is within easy reach. It does not have to be a high weight, a low level is preferable. With all of those things in mind, we're going to be starting away from our bar. We're going to be starting with a little bit of space around us, just following along with a bit of a warm-up before we move to the bar. So have a bit of space, make sure there's no furniture in your way, get your bare feet or socks, and let's go. So placing the feet underneath the sit bones, stacking the rib cage over the pelvis, stacking the head over the chest, taking a deep breath in and reaching the arms for the sky. Let them sink down, melt down. We're going to lift one heel and press it down. Same on the other side. We'll lift the heel and press away, minimizing any swaying side to side through the hips. Thinking about that TVA muscle, that corseted muscle that starts to wrap around the waist. Let's peel the whole foot away from the floor. Still minimizing that sway, but keeping two hip bones facing towards the front. Start to think about the glute muscles wrapping underneath to support you on that one foot. We're going to make that pad a little faster, so picking up the pace. And at the same time, we're going to roll the shoulders back. Just coordinating however happens naturally, in time with the music, in time with the breath, in time with your own beat, absolutely fine. We're going to pick up the feet again and we're going to roll the shoulders the other way. So it's a little more swift through the feet, a little more of a springy pad, but does not have to be a jog or a high knees just yet. Nothing like that. We're going to slow the pace in order to lift a knee. And at the same time, let's take the hands forward and circle the wrists around. Gently pointing through the toes, starting to warm up through the ankle. We're going to take the knees, again we're going to take the wrists the other way. So keeping our feet moving, keeping the arms around shoulder level at this point. Keep breathing into the sides and back of the lungs. We're going to lose the arms, we're going to drop the knees down, and we're going to step that slightly side to side. A little sway through the hip as you go. We're going to be reaching across to the opposite corner, reaching across. A little bit of body rotation against the leg today. Two more, either side. And release. Bend the knees, reach the arms up for the ceiling. Allow the arms to sink down. Big roll back of the shoulders. Take the head side to side very gently. And get a little lift to the side. We're going to go one more either way. Breathing deep. We're going to take a lift of the chin. And then we're going to take a drop of the chin, lifting through the back of the skull. So it's about lengthening the neck both times. Lengthening the back of the neck. One more time. Let's close the feet back in underneath us. We'll take a little tilt through the head. And back the other way. Really small. Lengthening out the sides of the neck. We can take that a little bit into the body. Have a little bend of the knees. And I'm kind of just under the music here, just edging into soft movement, flowing with what my body is happy to do at this point. We're always going to pick up the pace as we get more into our work at the bar. We can start to reach a little further, maybe down towards the calf. One more time. And then again, reaching for the ceiling. Press the air away, take a little roll down through the top of the body, curve the spine over, bend the knees as you go. Hanging over the legs for a second, take a little moment just to release there. We are going to be taking that into our tondus at the bar. So stepping up to your bar, or bringing your bar to you. We're going to be starting from a first position. So let's get a little bit into that first position first of all. Come to your parallel to the outside of the hips. Just place the hands onto the bar, resting comfortably. We're going to take a little rotation through the legs. So shifting on the balls of the feet, wrapping the glutes around, wrapping the inside thighs around to create that rotation right from the top of the leg. Let's go for two more wide collarbones. Last one, we're going to plant the heels there. We're going to take a little tendu, a point of the foot, and 3 circles with that ankle. Bring it back into the other ankle. Have a little moment of balance on that foot. And replace. So we're going to step back just slightly so it's a little easier to see. 3 circles outwards with the ankle. Bring it in. A little balance in place. Place it down. Same thing to the side. It's tendu. 3 circles inwards. And so we're standing on that one rotated leg. We're going to place the foot to the back of the ankle. Replace, do the same on the other side. Tendu, 3 circles round. Taking the foot to the back of the ankle for an even turn out on both legs. Replace to the back behind the shoulder. Circling outwards again with the ankle. Bring it into the back once again. Maybe a little pause there. And take it down. Same thing on the other side. Trying to keep 2 hip bones square to the front. Bring it into the back of the ankle. Lifting tall through the spine. Replace once more each side. Circling inwards again. Let's take it in front. Let's take it to mid-calf this time. We're going to replace the foot, replace the hands. Last one. Point. Go circle. Inwards 3. Inwards 4. Bring it in to the calf. Little hold. Replace the hands. Replace the feet. Let's just take a tendu on each foot in each direction. So as we adjusted side to side, to the back as well. So we're tracking those lines in line with the sit bones. Out to the side comes in just your field of vision. Once more either way. 2 to the front, 2 to the side, 2 to the back, 2 to the side. Brushing the underside of the foot every time. Trying to warm up that underside of the foot. The muscles there. Lengthening down the back of the leg. The glute muscle helping there to lengthen away. Last one to either side. Coming back into the middle. We're going to take a little bit of noodly leg business. Warming a little more into these hip rotations. So we're going to be bringing one foot onto a little point, and I shifted my weight to my standing leg over on this side. I'm going to take some rotation through this leg. So I'm just turning the knee in and out. We're going to do it 4 times, and then we're going to switch to the other side. So we open, close and open. Bringing the knee in and out without the pelvis moving. So pelvis just facing off to your bar. We'll take the same thing, but we'll take a little drag of the foot. So it's just a little more space now on the floor. Maybe drawing a little line up and down. 4 of those. Switch feet. It's a drag. Just a little movement through the leg, not shifting over that supporting leg. We're going to add in a plie. So we plie and open. So a little bend of that supporting leg as we take the knee across. One more time, and shifting sides. It's plie and open. So supporting leg, bend and stretch. Working leg always bent. We're going to change that as well now. So they're both going to bend and stretch. Bend and stretch away to a tendu. So that point of the toe again. 4 times. Replace the foot, change sides. Always think glutes wrapping, holding that turn out, working that rotation in the legs. Let's take a little noodle. It's going to come across and out 4 times. And then we're going to change feet by stepping down and shifting across. So we've just got the noodly leg on its own, airbound leg. It's going to shift across. Now we can add in our plie again. We can slowly bend and slowly come up. We'll do one more. And we can change across. So we've got little plie on the first 2, coming up on the second 2. We can stay standing. And if we wanted, we could add one more plie into the centre in that change. Let's go down for 3, and let's come up for 3. It's 2. It's 3, little plie in the middle, and change. Last time, noodly leg. Sorry, that's plie down. Coming up again. We're going to come back to the middle and stretch. Let's take a little rise, pressing the feet down into the floor, and slowly coming back down again. Take a little plie to ease off from that. We'll take it again. Slowly rising up onto the balls of the feet. Think about lifting through the heels, pressing forward through the instep of the foot. Little bend and stretch. One more time. Reaching the heels up for the sky. Still think inside thighs trying to close towards each other. Little plie. In the toes in, the heels in, the toes in. Step yourself back. Take a little moment to have a bit of a cat stretch. So I've got bent knees, I've got 2 arms reaching long, lengthening the back. I'll take a little curl up through the spine, and I'll lengthen back out again. Maybe a slight lift through the chest. 2 more. rounding the back up and over. Just a little moment of release. We're going to be moving into some pliés, a little bit more spine motion as well. Breathing in, come back to your neutral spine. Tuck the tail to walk the feet back in towards your bum and separate them back to our second position. So heels just outside of the hip bone, legs rotated so the knee tracks parallel over the centre of the foot. Let's take a few of those. We're going to go down for 2, up for 2. Little plie, little stretch. It's nice and dynamic, it keeps moving, but it is spongy. It's got that little sponginess to it. You don't want to drop down. It's smooth in both directions. Breathing nice and wide into the backs of the ribs, low lungs. We're going to take it slower down. Slower down, we're going to slow it down. Words. And down for 2, lengthening up for 2. So nice and smooth, and press the floor away. We're going to take it instead a little faster. So we're going to go down, we're going to take a little pulse down there. So just do 1 count, 1 and 1. Try not to lean in towards the bar. Think about glutes wrapping and TDA wrapping so you stay stacked and upright through the top of the spine. We're going to hold it down on the next one. We're going to raise the arm. Take a lovely side bend, curl around. Keep your legs exactly the same. It's like you're sitting on an invisible chair. Slightly strangely, but let's go with it. Roll it round, come back, lengthen up through the legs. And take it again. Let's just bend and stretch. And stretch. So thinking the tops of the ears lifting, collarbones wide. So try not to curl in over your bar. Really think open. Fingertips are just sort of resting there. It's just for a little balance and support. We're not really gripping onto it. The legs are doing all the work for you. We're going to slow it down again. After 2. After 1, we're going to slow it down. Down for a slow 2. Up for a slow 2. Keeping the feet pressing down into the floor. You always want your heels down in a second position. They don't really need to come off unless it's a designed rise. But on the plie, they shouldn't escape the floor. You should just be pressing down. Right, let's get into our pulses. Let's get down there. Little pulses down. And it doesn't have to be too low. You're not trying to get a flat line between your knees and the pelvis. There is still that gentle slope downwards through the leg. Start to feel a little burn. We're going to hold it down. We're going to raise the arm. Breathe in. Exhale as you curve around through the body. Return the arm other side. Breathe in. And curve it around. You can take a really slow rise from bent legs through straight legs to a rise on 2 feet. Slowly, slowly. Coming back to straight legs. Lengthening up. Lifting through the thighs, lifting the kneecaps. And if you want it, a little test of the balance there. Replacing the hands, replacing the heels. Toe heel the feet back into a parallel position. We're going to take a movement sequence for the body. This comes from the Total Barre repertoire. We're going to change it up a little bit. We're going to do 1 of each movement where we normally do around 4 to 6. And so the movements we're going to do are that we're going to reach across the body. So I've pelvis to the bar, but I'm reaching across myself in sort of a little diagonal. And then I'm going to pull my elbow back. I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to pull my whole arm back, and you can see I'm rotating the body with it. I'm going to take the same thing with a little curve and extension through the top of the spine as well. Make sure you can go into the lower back. Just a little open. That's going to become a side bend that opens around. We take the same thing again. So it's 1 with the elbow. It's 1 with the whole arm. You might just see my fingers over here. It's 1 with a curve. And then it's 1 with a side bend. So let's give that a go. We'll do it at the bar to start off with. We reach across, pull the elbow back, reach again, pull the whole hand. We can bend the knees as we curve and open, little side bend, open away. We've got other side. Allow that movement to flow through the body, through the gaze, curve as long as the pelvis is trying to stay fairly still in space. Take it again, elbow. Take it again with the arm. Take it again with the curve. Take that side, bend and around. We've got the last one at the bar, on the way. Pulling through the fingertips with a curve. Round the spine, extend the upper back. Side bend, up and around and away. Unroll. we are going to take that into the centre. Now you don't have to do it in the centre if it's not confident for you. You could stay near the bar, so make sure you're not going to hit it. Place the bar away if you are happy to come into the centre. We can get a little bit more movement through the legs now. We can get a little bit more movement through the other arm. Have a rough second position, a rough parallel second or an easy turn out. We might be stepping into a fourth position. Just allow the arm to draw you wherever you want to be in space. As long as you're looking out for the space around you, there's no right or wrong. Just soft movement through the body. Let's take this. I've only got time to do it into one track. So I'm going to start with my left arm again and I'm going to reach across. Here we go. And 6 and 7, we go reach. I'm pulling back through the elbow. Reaching away again. I'm going to go for 2 arms. I'm going to take a curve and an open. I'm going to take a side bend and around we go. Again, reaching the other way. I'm pulling back. I'm going for 2 arms on this one. Really feeling the breath. Curving the spine. Open. It's a side bend. It's around we go. Lifting, lengthening up. Nice and swift, nice and brief. You can always do it again if you loved it. But we are going to pick up our one hand weight. I need a little sip of water. And we are coming into our space away from the bar now. So we've got one hand weight that's going to stay in our 2 hands while we do some squats. We're taking the feet to the outside of the hips. We're finding this lengthened spine position to start. Wide through the collarbones, elbows just gently dropped but airy. So try not to pull them to the sides, try not to stick them out. They're somewhere in between, nice happy angle. And this weight is just a few inches away from your sternum, from your breastbone. So we have just squats on their own to start. So we're going to smoothly go down for 2, and up for 2. And you can see I'm dropping the gaze slightly as I come down. That ensures that the back of the neck stays long as I go. I'm just taking that weight with me. And hopefully I'm making a roughly sort of Z shape, where the angle of my body and the angle of my shins kind of matches up. And the pelvis just dropping in space, maintaining that parallel line through both legs. We're going to come to standing. We're going to take a little spine twist. Slowly twisting through the upper body. Coming back to the centre. And so knees a little bit soft there. Trying to keep the pelvis fairly still to the front. If you need a little rotation in the pelvis, that's not a problem. But as long as we're mainly focusing on the upper body turning. We're going to take it again. We're going to come back to the centre. We're going back to our squats. And up, we're going to add a thing in. Where are we going to go? We're going to go down for 2 and up to one leg. Down for 2, up to one leg. So I've got that little shift of weight in between. If that doesn't feel confident, you could just come to a little tap of the foot in. A little tap of the foot so you've still got some support. Otherwise, coming to a right angle, sort of tabletop leg. Now, the slightly more accessible version would be to lengthen and then shift. So if I slow it down, lengthen and then shift. The slightly more challenging version would be to shift and then lengthen. So then you've got to wrap the glute around underneath. If you want to do that slow, great. If you're happy to speed it up, try it. Really think glute wrapping on that supporting side to stabilize. TVA, it's like a whole harness of muscle around the waist. You've got one more either side. Drop it down, bring it up, drop it down, bring it up. I'm going to come back to the center. Oh, I'm going to skip that back. There we go. Coming back in. So we're going to be taking the weight down into one hand, 2 palms to the front. Now I'm just going to kneel down briefly so you can see this one a little clearer. We're going to be taking the weight up above the head, passing it across and taking it down to the other side. Then we're going to take it back again, pass it up and across. And it does not have to be in time with the music. This can just be in your own time, breathing as you go. You might want to inhale. As the arms come up, feel that rib cage lift and lengthen. Exhale as we come down. You might prefer the other way. Exhaling through the exertion of lifting the weight, inhaling to control it down. As long as you are stabilized through your spine, it doesn't matter which way you breathe, as long as you're breathing, air needs to come in and out. And if it's doing that, we're doing a great job. We're opening the arms away. We're going to go one more circle back again. And then we're going to come back into our squats. We're going to add together two things we've already done, which is the squat and the spinal rotation. So pop that weight back in front of the sternum. We're going to go down for 2 and lengthen into that rotation. So you've got down, rotate. Now I'm keeping my pelvis very squared off to the front. But if you want to have a little bit of movement through the hips, that's okay, as long as it's not excessive and we are still focusing on sternum rotating. Try and make sure it doesn't go into the ankles. Try and keep the knees facing across to the front. 2 more either way. Drop it down. Still keeping length through the torso. Allow the gaze to drop, the sit bones to drop, at the top of the head to lift. Let's come back to the center, last one. Take the weight into 2 hands this way round, or whatever you're holding, just a little bit lengthways between the hands. Reach it out in front of you. We're going to place one arm on top and then the other. Ooh, just unscrewing the weight here. If you're holding something like a weighted ball, you can do exactly the same thing. Or really any object, a shoe, will work. As long as you are finding stabilization from the torso. You can see muscles around the waist wrapping in. Try not to pitch forward or backward through the body. Trying to breathe nice and deep into the lungs. We've got 8, it's 7, it's 6, last 5, only 4, nearly there, it is 2, it is 1, breathe in, nice and simple. We're going to replace that weight. We're going to be coming down into, actually let's take it with us, pop it onto the floor, we might use it in the next one. We're going to be coming down into the floor for a core exercise. So let's go a nice way down into the floor, let's place the feet under the sit bones, let's curl through the top of the spine. Rounding the back over, rolling down towards the feet. Now you can bend your knees to assist the hands to be able to touch the floor. We're going to walk the hands away. Let's take a little downward dog pike stretch while we're here. We've arrived, we may as well. Maybe take a bend to the knees to lift the sit bones to lengthen the spine. We're going to lift the heels, bend the knees, place the knees onto the floor. We're going to come around to a side seated position. So I'm going to come into a place where I've got my forearm at a right angle. So it's at that right angle, and I'm just going to place it with the fingertips facing the same way that I'm looking. I've stacked my knees one over the other. I've got my hip bones, hip bones stacked as well. Hip flexors a little bit flexed, a little bend here, so that I can come into a side plank position. So placing that arm on the side of the body, we're going to exhale into our plank and inhale to come back down. Nice and simple. Thinking length on both sides of the body when we're in that position. Nose through sternum, through down to the knees, one long line. And coming down. Exhale on the way up, inhale on the way down. Let's give it a go. Stabilize this shoulder, press the elbow down into the floor. On 5, 6, here we go. Lengthen for 2 and inhale down for 2. Let's do 2 more. Allow the shoulders to widen. Really reaching through the top of the head. We're going to add in an arm. So we're going to exhale away with that arm reaching and inhale, bring it down. Exhale, reaching up. Inhale down. 2 more just like this. Reach away. Smoothly down. Last one. Coming down. Release yourself from that side. Let's switch over to the other one. And skip that music back. We need that one again. So we're going to be taking forearm to the floor. Knees, hips, and then forearm. So I've got a little bend here. This is stacked. These are stacked. And I'm wide through the chest. Lengthen as much as I can on both sides of the body. Here we go. We're going to exhale into our plank and inhale, come down. Same thing again. Press that elbow down into the floor. Make sure you're not sinking into the shoulder socket. Not overly pushing away. You want to find that nice lengthened neutral line. Let's add an arm. We're going to exhale as we reach for the ceiling. Inhale, bring it down. Make sure you can see those fingertips out the corner of your eye. Don't let that arm fly behind you. We're coming into our final one here. We're coming down. We're releasing from that side. We're going back over to the first side. We're going to grab this little friend to come with us. So you don't have to use a weight. If you don't want to use it, you can still do this exercise without. But if you do have a weight that you can grab, we're going to come into that same thing again. We're going to take the weight with us. So we're coming up to that raised arm once again. We're going to exhale as we go up. Let's take an inhale, bicep curl. Let's take an exhale, open leg. Inhale, bring that back down. We'll take it again. Exhale. Inhale, bicep curl. Holding onto that sustained plank. You've got 2 more on this side. So reaching long line from knees to head. Wrap the glutes around underneath. Wrap the inside thighs together. Smoothly down. Really press that arm down. Stabilize that shoulder. Shoulder blades suctioning onto the back of the ribs. Reach away. Smoothly down. Well done. Switch it over. Second side. We're going to run out of music for this one, but we're going to keep the same timing going. So coming into your start position, weight over the legs, a little bend through the hips so that they can lengthen when we come up into the air. Take a breath in, and as we exhale, we're going to come up for 2, and we're going to come in for 2. I'm just going to count across because this one's a lot slower. Up for 2, and down for 2. You've got 3 more to go. Exhale away, in for 2, 1 and 2. Exhale up to the sky for 2, and bring it down for 2. 2 more, it's lengthen through the top of their head. Elbow stays to the sky. Reaching through the hand and smoothly calming down. Last one is exhale, and we're lengthening. Inhale as it comes in. Exhale as it goes away. Inhale as you come back down. Well done. Release that weight. Come back around to the other side. We've still got bent legs, but we're going to place the hand in an invisible line across from the knees. And we're going to be coming into a side bend. So this arm opening away. Take a breath in. Exhale, bend it up and over. So now I'm curving through the side of the body and exhaling to come down. 3 on this side. Inhale, prepare, exhale, up and over. Still thinking glutes wrapping, still thinking inside thighs pressing together. But I want to get a stretch out in the sides of the body, particularly this top side. The obliques have been working hard in that previous exercise to keep you stacked and stable. Now they get a little chance to release. Same thing on the other side, 3 side bends. So 2 knees together, hand in an invisible line across from the knees. Long on both sides of the spine. We're trying to stack up and over our hand. I've not done a great job of that, so I'm going to move my hand slightly further in. Here we go. That's a lot better. Stacking the shoulder over the hand, even if it means a slightly bent arm in your seated position. And coming down again. We're going to come around back to our all fours. We're going to tuck the toes. We're going to press back into our downward dog. We're going to walk the hands just a little further forwards so that we can shift through the spine into a plank position. And then we're going to shift back again. Think that your navel is being scooped up towards the sky and the sit bones aim back. So if we shift a little bit away from the wall. So I'm lifting the heels, I'm tucking the tailbone under, I'm rounding through the back as I lengthen forwards into my plank, and then I'm scooping back the other way. Sit bones pressing back. Let's go one more. Heels lift, scoop the spine. One long plank. If it feels comfortable, squeeze the glutes and allow the pelvis to drop. Only if it's not impinging into your lower back. Take a breath in. Pressing back, scooping through the belly to come into our plank. We're going to drop the knees. We're going to shift the hands in closer. We're going to find our cat stretch. So we're curving up through that. And then we're lengthening through the top of the spine, chest lifting forwards. Take a breath in. Take it again. Exhale, round the spine. Press the floor away, but slightly softened elbows. Exhale, lengthening away forwards. We're going to bring one leg around in front of us. We're going to take a little shift into a bit of a hip flexor stretch. If it's comfortable to come onto the fingertips, go for it. If your bar is nearby, you can have a little bit of support there. Otherwise, we can stay forwards over the leg. If the palms come to the floor, that's all good. Think about wrapping the glute of that back leg so it will want to hang out. Try and engage that glute so that then we're contracting on this side in order to lengthen on this side. Let's bring that back again. Shift that leg back in, switch to the other side. So I've got a little shift forwards through the hips, and I'm thinking of this long sweep up through the top of the head. So you don't want a fold line anywhere in the body. You want a long curve, wrapping that glute muscle, finding that stretch gently down the front of the hip flexor. We're going to replace the hands into the floor. We're going to shift back.
We're going to come back onto the balls of the feet. I'm going to shift slightly into the middle, away from that wall. And then we're going to press the heels down and unroll through the spine. And it's not going to be the arm candy song. Yay! There we go. I planned ahead. Take a moment to settle. Feet underneath you, stacking through the spine, allowing the head to be further away from the floor again. And we are done there for today.